breaking heat wave on today, amen. But just on my way as I stopped by, just touch somebody on the right side of you, then touch somebody on the left side of you and say, who got the check? Who got, I know that was improper English, and I should say who has, but I just said who got the check. I'm going to not be before you long in the presence of the Lord. But one thing we have learned in many sit-down restaurants, they use something called the honor system. You go to a restaurant and you sit down at that restaurant and you sit down and you have a meal. And it's customary after the meal is over, you don't just get up and walk away, but the waiter, or excuse me, the waitress, I'm sorry, it's 2019, I can't say waitress anymore, the server, rather, comes to your table and they place a piece of paper on the table. Now, I don't know if you've ever been out with a group of people before, but they place a piece of paper on the table. But if you ever been out with a group of people before and you see that group of people when they place that, amen, y'all. That's distracting. Okay, amen. Y'all place the piece of paper on the table.
That's right.
And the group of people looks at that piece of paper to see which one is going to pick up the value of that piece of paper. Who's going to take care of the check? Yeah. It signifies the summation of what happened at that table. Somebody say, why is he talking about checks? I'm going somewhere in just a moment in the presence of the Lord. But it sits down, you sat there at the table and you ordered. And sometimes, I don't know if you ever been like me, you ever ordered and you see the sum on the check and say, it's not what I expected. You ask to see a copy of the menu and you go back and forth and say, I had extra this. And it said, oh, I did say, give me cheese on that. And I did say, give me one of those. And they asked me that I want something else to drink. I learned to ask each time they say, do you want me to fill your cup back up? Is it free refills? Because you be careful, you'll be charged for 6 and 7 things to drink.
That's right.
All right, amen.
That's right.
But the summation of the check sits on the table. I don't know about you, but you ever sat down with a group of folks, and one person sitting there, and they decide to magically have to use the restroom. They never make it back from the restroom.
Jesus.
Or you have that other person who feels around and says, I left my wallet at home, knowing good well that they intentionally left it at home. But you are stuck with the check. It's something to pay for something. I hear God talking now these next couple of minutes. It's something to pay for a bill that I sent up. If I know I ordered this food, I might not mind paying for it. But I feel some kind of way when you ordered appetizers and desserts and everything in between, a first course, second course, third course, and a fourth course, and you know that you didn't have any money, but you still decided to order it and to let somebody else pay.
My Lord.
It's a real disgusting feeling. I know I'm not talking to everybody because some of y'all might have did it to somebody, but it's a real disgusting feeling to have somebody send a bill up, and it may not be in a restaurant, but can I just break it down just a little bit further for you? If you're used to being at work all day long, your lights is out while you at work. But if somebody come in your house and now they're there every day turning the lights on, got the air conditioner blowing all day long, got the fan blowing all day long, it feels a little bit different.
gonna change. Glory to God.
Because you're paying for what you did not use.
Hallelujah.
But then I give another example. If somebody says, can I borrow your car? When you gave it to them, that little needle was on F. Because you had just went to the gas station. They come back late with your car at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that needle is sitting down on E, and you don't even know if you can make it to the gas station down the street. When people bring up a debt that they have no intention of paying, it feels kind of bad when that debt is left for you. But I stopped by to tell you of the things that I just spoken of. All of us are guilty in some way or fashion.
Yes. Amen.
But don't nobody tip out. You may say, I ain't never stayed with nobody else in my life. I ain't never turned on nobody else's lights. I always paid for our own meal. You may have done all of those things, but all of us have created a debt of sin. Lord have mercy. We've created a huge check. Lord have mercy. A debt of sin, and things we keep doing just keep adding up over and over again. You might say, but Pastor, I ain't fornicated. I don't do any drugs. I don't know what you're talking about. But we've created a debt of lies with our mouths. We've created a debt of gossip. We've created a debt of sin. And one thing about bills, if you're not careful, they will keep adding up. And I tell you a story. I went away about 4 years ago. I was at the Marriott, I believe was the name of the hotel the company was paying for the hotel. This was about maybe 8 years ago, if I'm thinking correctly now. About 8 years ago. I didn't know at that time, if you see a bottle of water, you better leave it there and go across the street to CVS and get your own. I went and opened that bottle of water. Didn't nobody say nothing, so the next day I was there, they put another bottle in. I felt kind of good because the second bottle was there. On my final day, went down to the meeting room, came back up, there was another bottle. So I said, they must really like me. But I went to check out and I saw 3 times 4 on the bill. I didn't understand 3 times 4. I know it equals 12. But what in the world was $4 each? Well, what happened was each one of those bottles was $4. I should have asked, but I didn't. So I was charged for something I had to pay for it out of my own pocket. Some of us get in trouble, I hear God, because you simply don't ask any questions. Some of us are in a messed up state right now. You should have checked something out and you should have asked some questions. Some of us are in a bad place right now. But because I did not ask any questions, but I incurred a debt. Lord have mercy. But every once in a while, this don't happen too often, but this has happened to me maybe once in my lifetime. I was at a restaurant and the check was high, and I was making noise letting everybody know how high I thought that check was. I thought it was ridiculous that you charged me for this and you charged me for that. But then what would happen is a manager would walk over. I didn't even call for the manager, but the manager said, guess what? It is on the house. In other words, even though you brought that bill up, even though you incurred the debt, I stopped by to tell you that you don't have to pay it. And I am so glad that with God, I have debts I'd be paying for the rest of my life. But I'll stop by to tell you that God is a debt counselor. Regardless of the things that I've done, regardless of how much I messed up, God stopped by and said, your debt is canceled. You could have been paying with your life, but the debt is canceled. You should have been paying with your health, but the debt is canceled. It's canceled. I serve a debt cancel. It's real nice when somebody forgives a debt. Lord have mercy. He said, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Many of us have not forgiven others' debts. Somebody borrowed 20 from you back in 1997, and every time you see them, you think about that $20 that they borrowed from you. Somebody came to your house to get some flour back in 84, and every time you see them at the store buying flour, you're wondering when you getting back the flour that you gave to them. There are many people that have borrowed from us. You ever met those people that borrow that have no intention of giving back? Y'all gonna say amen.
Amen. Amen.
Sometimes you need to tell people, stop lying. You know good and well.
All right. Amen.
Just ask me, just say, can you give it? Don't you talk about, can you borrow?
That's right.
If you ain't have it this week, how you gonna have it next?
All right.
But have no intention of giving it back.
Amen.
But I am so glad that as I get ready to close, because I don't have a long time in the presence of the Lord, that God is a debt counselor.
Yes, yes.
It's nice to have your books clear.
Amen.
There's a difference between ignoring a debt and having it canceled. When God cancels debts, He doesn't put a derogatory line on your credit report. You know, I learned later in life, ignoring $50 can stop you from getting something for $20,000 later.
That's right.
Okay, let me talk to this side. I'm gonna say it again. I learned later in life, ignoring something for $50 will go in your credit report. You can't get something for $20,000 or $30,000 later.
That's right.
Because I ignored it.
That's right.
But God's debts, they don't go. But I'm so glad that God puts it on a special credit report called forgetfulness.
Yes.
All the debt that I incurred goes on His report of forgetfulness. And when it's locked away in forgetfulness, it is never to be seen again.
Amen.
So because God, why are we talking about debts today? Because God has canceled my debt.
Yes.
Ask somebody, what's your excuse now?
What's your excuse
You know,
now?
one person said, I'm going to try it again. Ask somebody, what's your excuse now?
What's your excuse now?
Now that He has canceled your debt,
Yes.
what you going to do with that extra money? You ever had anybody ever had unexpected money before?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It feel kind of good
Feel good, yeah.
to get something unexpected.
Yes.
Especially when you've been broke. And I'm talking about another kind of broke. I'm not talking about broke you don't want to touch none of your accounts right now, so you're a little broke, but you know you can go down to the bank and you can. I'm talking about when you have 15, 16, 17, oh there's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you going under the couch, you shaking clothes. I'm talking about,
Yes.
y'all ain't never been that level.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about it take you 4 hours to find something to get from the 99-cent menu. Because you got to get that 99-cent together.
That's right.
But don't it feel kind of good when you're that level of broke? And I had it happen. I mean, just completely flat broke. And you say, I might as well clean up, ain't nothing else to do. And you go clean up and pull $100 bill out of one.
Yeah.
Look at God.
You know, you start smiling a little bit different now. You feel a little bit, your feet feel a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Because you have something you didn't expect.
That's right.
So God has let us know right now that I have canceled your debts. Now, what are you going to do with the funds that I gave you? Your debt of sin should have caused you to die.
Amen.
Your debt of sin should have caused you to be in a lot more trouble.
Yes.
But I've canceled
Yeah.
your debt. And now this leads us to now what David is saying in Psalms 116. He now asks the question, what shall I render
Oh, yes.
unto the Lord for all his benefits?
Hallelujah.
When you get to a certain place in life, they say when you go to a job, you don't just look at the salary by itself, because that can be deceptive.
That's right.
You must look at the salary and the benefits.
Amen.
If they pay you $100,000 a year but don't give you health care, don't take it. That's a lot of money. If you know how much it costs to go to the doctor, you realize you be having $5,000 a year.
All right now.
Any good job, you got to look at the salary
And the benefits.
and the benefits.
That's right.
And I am so glad that I serve a God with benefits.
Yes.
He said, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved, shall be rescued. I serve a God with benefits. He
Yes.
said, if you walk upright before me, no good thing will I withhold from you. I serve a God with benefits. Delight thyself also in the Lord. And I'm reading, guess what?
Give you the desire.
Can I
of your
really
heart.
tell you what? He just give you desires of your heart. Can I tell you where I'm
Yes.
coming from? I'm coming from the Old Testament.
All right now.
Sometimes we get that messed up. Oh, under the old covenant, God was just death and destruction. No, he said in the Old Testament, delight thyself in the Lord and he'll give you
Desires of your heart. Oh, yes, he
That's
did.
what he said in the Old
Yes, he
Testament.
did.
He said in the Old Testament, the little that a righteous man has mean more than the riches of many wicked. He
Yes.
said that in the Old Testament.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I gotta close. I serve a God
Yes.
of benefits.
Amen.
Yes.
But it would be real crazy. So darn Slim, it'd be real crazy
Yes, sir.
if you went to the doctor and said, you know what? Don't use my health insurance, just bill me directly.
Mm-hmm.
There'd really be something wrong with you.
That's right. Okay.
If you went to CVS, and how many know what those prescriptions cost out of pocket? I've had to do it
That's
before.
right. That's right.
I don't know if you ever tried to pay a prescription out of pocket. It ain't no $15, $20. I'm talking about $500 and $600 and $700.
That's right, Pastor.
But I serve a God with benefits.
Yes, Lord.
What shall I render unto the Lord as I close
Hallelujah.
for all his benefits toward me?
Yes, Lord.
It's not an equal thing. There's nothing I can give him. But you know what the crazy thing is? All he expects is a thank you. And you know how you can best thank somebody? By using what they gave you.
Yes.
That's how you can really thank somebody. If I give you something, I give you a brand new car. I knew you was walking to work and I give you a new car, and I know you driving it every day to work. That makes me feel good.
Amen. Go ahead, Pastor.
But if I give you a brand new car and you get into a car wreck a week later with it, I don't feel so good because I don't think that you honored what I gave you.
Yes.
You tell me your light's about to get off and I give you some money, your lights are back on, that's kind of cool.
Yes.
If your light's about to go off, I give you some money, they back on, then the next month they back off again. I feel the same
That's right.
kind of way. So what shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits towards me? Use your benefits.
Use your
Use your benefits.
I've had benefits. Stuff. Listen, I don't know if you ever realize I've had benefits and things I didn't know I had.
Amen.
Wow.
I remember one person told me they were embarrassed to use coupons. I said, that's you. That's your testimony. I've been at the store and looked through my emails and had coupons and something was about to cost $50 and I had to pay $5. I handed them this coupon and turn around and give you this and then hand you this, then hand you that. Hold on.
I taught you well.
You better be surprised. Know your benefits. I remember I took an Uber ride, was free. I didn't even know it was free. They said, because you use a TD card. And then I said, well, praise the Lord. Holiday. And I asked you no questions. Shut the door and get out the car and keep moving. It's nice to have benefits. Let us all stand in the presence of the Lord.